Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good, have had a good week and have a good upcoming weekend. I wanted to do something a little, not necessarily different, but I kind of wanted to do a little. We all have our own. We all have our favorite players. And I wanted to, I've been around hockey basically my entire life. So I wanted to look at my favorite former players and favorite current players, and I thought I'd go through my top 5 former players and top 5 current players. But before I get into that, if you are new to the channel, or if you're new to hockey in general, I'm very happy that you're here. And if you love the sport like I do, it would be absolutely awesome and greatly appreciated if you'd hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, go ahead, if you want to be notified anytime future videos are uploaded, you can tap the little bell, and it will notify you anytime future videos are uploaded. And I'm slowly but surely, I'm creeping up toward 2,000 subscribers. And it would be awesome if with your guys' help, if we can reach there. So again, I wanted to talk about former players and current players, and we all have our favorites. And it just, there's there were so many good players. And I'm trying to think because there were a lot of really good players that I wasn't able to watch because I wasn't alive yet. I didn't get a chance to really watch Bobby Orr. I definitely didn't get a chance to watch Gordie Howe. But there were a lot of there were a lot of other pretty good players that I really did enjoy watching, and that I was able to watch. And I thought, I'd start out by doing my top 5 current players, and it was interesting trying to come up with players to who were like really good, but weren't they weren't like. They were some of my favorites. Some of them were, a couple of them, we'd all know. A couple of them, maybe not so much. But my number 5 former player that I absolutely loved watching, and it was so much fun to watch him. And it was, even though he played. He only went to one Stanley Cup final, but he was phenomenal and had a darn good career. That's the Russian Rocket, Pavel Bure. He was spectacular. He was so much fun to watch, and it was a blast to watch him. It really was. He was fast. He was able to. They called him the Russian Rocket for a reason. He could put points on the board. He was fast. Not a lot of people were able to catch him, and it was so much fun to watch him. And he was a phenomenal player, absolutely phenomenal player. Unfortunately, he was not able to win a Stanley Cup as a player, but he was still fantastic to watch. And Also, I do kind of apologize the way my ring lights are. They're flashing off the board here, and even trying to adjust the height or whatever, it just moves the ring from here to up there or wherever. So, try not to pay total attention to the ring light down here. But I know that's not exactly the easy to do. But I'm trying to keep it out of the area where you're not able to see who's getting written down. But yeah, Pavel Bure, he was not able to win a Stanley Cup as a player, but he was still a phenomenal player. And I believe he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and yeah, he was fantastic. Number 4, this guy was absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed watching him, and it was so awesome to see him finally win a Stanley Cup in his last year, the last year that he played in 2001, and that's Ray Bork. He went to the final. He spent most of his career in Boston. He was phenomenal in Boston. He went to the finals twice in Boston, 1988 and 1990. He was, they came up short against, Wayne Gretzky and the Edmonton Oilers, but he was fantastic. And it's a shame he was not able to win a championship in Boston. But Boston at the time, they were nowhere near a contender. He wanted a chance to win. They knew that. And so they worked something out. They traded him to Colorado in 2000 and came up a little bit short in 2000, in the 2000 playoffs. Spent all of 2001 there. Colorado, one of the best teams. They went all the way. They won the Stanley Cup. And Ray Bork, after that, he retired. And it was awesome watching Joe Sakic hand the Stanley Cup to him. It was incredible. It really was incredible. And there's a lot of really good players that I really, really liked that aren't on this list, because if I was doing former players, I could have done 15 to 20 of them. But I wanted to just kind of, keep it down to 5. So Ray Bork was there, and he was absolutely phenomenal. And it just, it was so great to see him finally win the Stanley Cup. And, to see him go out on top, can't think of a better way to end your career. Go out as a Stanley Cup champion. Awesome way to do it. My third favorite player, we just talked about this guy. Joe Sakic. He spent the current general manager of the Colorado Avalanche, or is he still the GM or is he the president of the team? I'm trying to remember, or is he both? He might be both. But Joe Sakic, great player, spent the early part of his career he spent with a very, very bad Quebec Nordiques team. But it was a Quebec Nordiques team that got much better after they traded Eric Lindros. They got a king's ransom for Eric Lindros when they traded Lindros to Philadelphia. They got back the pieces that ended up being the catalyst for why the Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup in 1996. Quebec got in that trade. Peter Forsberg, I think Valery Kamensky, there a few more, I think, what was it, Fisset or something. There were a number of pieces that came back to Quebec that ended up becoming big factors as to why the Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup. And Joe Sakic he was fantastic. He was fun to watch. And he was a phenomenal player, and he's ended up becoming an absolutely phenomenal executive. Number 2, these two might not be any surprise to anybody. Number 2, come on. Mario Lemieux? Yeah. I loved Mario Lemieux. Mario Lemieux was another great player. I did not like him in 1991. I did not like him in the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1991 because they beat the Minnesota North Stars in the Stanley Cup Final. They kind of gave the North Stars a little bit of hope because the North Stars were up 2-1 in that series, and then Mario Lemieux said to the guys, "All right, we've given them enough. Let's put them down." And they then presented to destroy them. The next 3 games, they totally ripped the hearts out of us North Star fans. And yeah, so I was not a fan of Mario Lemieux in '91, but when he started going through his health issues and all that, the Hodgkin's lymphoma, and then the back issues forced him to retire early. And then when he came out of retirement, because his son had never got a chance to see him play, and he comes out of retirement, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. He skated out on that ice. His first game out of retirement, he skated out onto that ice. I had trouble not. I mean, I tried my darndest to not get emotional. I still got a little emotional, but to watch him as a player, and even him coming back, my God, how good he still was. And and we look at Lemieux. If not for injuries, how many points could he have put up? I mean, how many points, honestly, could he have put up? Incredible. Just incredible. And then to watch him save the Pittsburgh Penguins as an owner, and then to be rewarded by owning the Pittsburgh Penguins by winning 3 Stanley Cups as an owner in 2009, 2016, and 2017. That was awesome. So he won 2 Stanley Cups as a player, 3 as an owner, and yeah, I mean, number 66, Mario Lemieux, awesome player to watch. My favorite player, spoiler, right? Especially considering what I'm wearing. I mean, duh, Wayne Gretzky? Yeah. Wayne Gretzky. Definitely my favorite player as a kid growing up. The Edmonton Oilers, as a kid growing up, were my favorite team because I marveled. I absolutely marveled at what Wayne Gretzky could do on the ice. He was just unbelievable. It was just... they were my favorite team for a reason as a kid, because that team was so good. That team was so good. And I remember, watching them in, when they were winning Stanley Cups, 1987, against Philadelphia was incredible. I mean, that was an insane year. And I remember being, what was I, in third grade? It was either in 3rd grade or 4th grade. I'm trying to exactly remember. But I think it was the 1987, and it was the next year. So I think it would have been 4th grade I would have been going into. 4th grade or 5th grade. But it was the school year following the 87 final. And I remember we had a spelling bee, or we had a little spelling contest, and I was the only kid in my class that could spell Philadelphia. It was funny, and even the teacher looked at me as like, because all the other kids were spelling it, Filla, they were spelling it with the F in there, Delfia, and I'm like, no, Phila, I put the PH in there, and I was the only one to spell it right. And the teacher looked at me and said, how do you know how to spell Philadelphia? How do you know how to spell Philadelphia so well? And I said, Philadelphia Flyers, the Edmonton Oilers and the Philadelphia Flyers in the Stanley Cup Final, 1980. And the teacher looked at me like, wow. They just the look on the teacher's face was fantastic. When I went and said Philadelphia Flyers, she's just like, huh? the look was awesome. And even the other kids are like, how the heck could he spell Philadelphia? Like they couldn't figure it out. They literally couldn't figure it out. I went and said Philadelphia Flyers because of the 1987 Stanley Cup Final between the Oilers and the Flyers. It was so much fun. So cool. So that is my top 5 former players. And yeah. So I think what I will do is I will make a second video out of this, doing the current one. But yeah, let me know who your top 5 former players were. No matter what era. Like I said, I had, there were a lot of great players that I was not able to watch as a kid, but they were fantastic. And yeah, so these are my top 5 former players. Let me know who your top 5 former players are. And again, hit the like button if you like the video. If you love the video, hit that subscribe button. Hit the little bell too if you want to turn on notifications for anytime future videos are uploaded. And yeah, those are my top 5. Who are yours? Again, hit like and subscribe. Hit the little bell too if you want to be notified anytime future videos are uploaded. Go ahead and do that if you haven't done that yet already. Also, if you've got friends that love hockey, let them know about the channel. Like I said, I'm getting closer. I'm inching closer to 2,000 subscribers, and I'd love your guys' help to get the channel there and to go above and beyond. So again, let me know what you guys think. Who are your favorite players? Hit like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.